Welcome back to AgriTalk from the CME Trading Group at the Chicago Board of Trade building, just off the grain pits behind us. And now we are talking with Virginia McGathey, president of McGathey Commodities. Also, Terry Roggensack joins us, founding principal of the Hightower Report. Virginia, I want to start with you because we were just having a lot of fun talking about the good old days, if you will. You spend a lot of time in the wheat pit, and you'll be talking in just a moment how about bringing in the Kansas City Board of Trade, that merger that's going on here, and having that wheat pit there. But we were just talking about the change from the old open cry system to what we have now. It's a more subdued. Computers don't make as much noise as people, but I mean there's still people here on the floor and in the pits.
Yes, there's still a lot of action and activity when the market really gets rolling. It almost sounds like it used to before, because now with the prices being basically doubled than they were historically from years ago, the movement is so massive, and that will really bring on a roar. Right. And so that really gets, some activity going and a lot of excitement here, and it kind of keeps us rolling. Yeah,
we hear that every now and then. And so there's still need for people to be here, not just computers, right?
Yes, absolutely. The sophistication of the market almost lends itself to that from the option angle. But I think that the community, the commodity community, really likes to have a hub or an area where all the funneling of information comes from. And so we still operate that way, where we get calls to find out what's really going on, and this still is a great source for that.
How excited are you about July 1st and the integration of the Kansas City Board of Trade into here?
I'm very excited. I think that this is one product that we've never had before, to where the volume of the hard red wheat crop is 2.5 times the soft red crop. And, the wonder is that this could be the one opportunity where an old market could actually take on new life. With having so many more traders behind it, supporting it, certainly in the options and the futures, I think that we could actually build up a head of steam and grow open interest beyond what it's ever seen in Kansas City.
Yeah, that'll be fun to see, and we'll find out soon. July 1st, not that far away. I want to talk now to Terry Roggensack, founding principal of the Hightower Report. Terry, thank you for joining us. Getting ready for supply-demand numbers tomorrow. What are you expecting?
Well, I think the trade in general is looking at a 2 to 3.5 million acre loss in corn acres, and that has people nervous. I note that 95% of the crop's in the ground, so that leaves about 4.75 million acres left to plant. The problem is the weather is still wet. Northern Iowa, central Iowa, southern Minnesota.
Yeah, just being planted may not always, that's good, but if it's standing in water, then you still have a problem.
Yeah, I don't think we've got the weather like we had in 95 and back when we had this water everywhere. So the crops that are coming out are looking pretty good in a lot of areas, especially Indiana, Illinois, that are already out. But we were only 88% planted in 95 at this time of the year. So it's a big difference in the 95% now, and in that year, we ended up losing only 3.9 million acres. So producers have a way of getting that crop in the ground late. So for this report, we were only down 2.3 million acres for the corn planted acres.
Still, farmers making decisions on, switching to soybeans or going prevented planting. Still some uncertainty there what's going to happen in the final run.
Definitely a lot of difference between now and 95 when we were so far behind, because back then you didn't have the insurance programs that, revenue insurance programs that you really have now. Plus the acres that are behind are up far enough north that they just don't want to put in beans, and they're nervous about late maturity corn. And so it's a difficult deal for producers, but we've certainly seen the supply-demand outlook in general change quite a bit, from talking about 2.5 to 3 billion bushel carryout to now the average trade estimate for the report tomorrow is 1.8 billion bushels. And it won't take much if you lose 3 million acres and you still keep the same yield and usage numbers in there. You're down to a 1.5 type carryout, and if you knock a few bushels per acre off the yield, you're down to a 1.2 carryout and a 9 under 10% stocks to usage. So you're a long way away from the $4 corn that we were talking about not too long ago.
Yeah, I was bringing that question up and talked about it earlier with Greg Wagner. When we're talking about a price range, hard to set one right now, not knowing what the crop's going to be. But Virginia, Do you think $4 corn is that's gone now?
Yes,
do you think?
I think that's really off the table
Yeah.
for years to come, actually, at this point. I can't imagine that happening with the world market the way it's going to be. Even right now, we're still on the lower side of the last couple of years, and with all the information coming in, it still looks bearish and weak. However, the upside now, because the market has been so high more times than we expected, that the fear that there might be, a big rally keeps everybody poised to just be very nimble with what's happening here. The demand lower, and even if the crop and the carryout is lower, that leaves us with a weaker market. But I don't see this thing tumbling down. I think that people will back off somewhat, but I still think that the weather is absolutely the key here. Terry's absolutely right. If we get any more continued bad weather, whether it's we go back into drought conditions, that'll switch back to the other side and give some market some strength here. But the weakness to $4, I don't think that we'll see that.
Real quick, Terry, what will you really be focusing on tomorrow? Where could there be a surprise, you think?
I think the surprise is in the ending stocks number. I think the average trade estimate at 1.8 billion seems a little bit high to me, and I think if there is a surprise, it'll come in a lower ending stocks number there.
You agree?
Yes, I agree. I
All
agree,
right.
absolutely.
Hey,
Give us a boost here.
Real quick before we go, focusing back on wheat. A lot of problems out in Kansas and western Kansas, especially that area in wheat country. What are you expecting with wheat?
Well, we're expecting that that they're going to come in a little bit lower, certainly for the outlook even for 2013. However, the world wheat supplies are still so high that the fact that the U.S. supplies are lower is going to basically be neutralized. So I don't really see like a big bounce from that, but I think that's going to come in that way.
Well, I thank Virginia McGathey, President of McGathey Commodities, and Terry Roggensack, Founding Principal of the Hightower Report. Thank you both for joining us. Very interesting. Tomorrow will indeed be a very interesting day with those numbers coming out from USDA. Our thanks to all the folks at the CME Trading Group for their great hospitality. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here right outside the trading floor for our broadcast today. Tomorrow, back in studio with Kansas Senator Jerry Moran and Colin Woodall from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. We'll talk Farm Bill and other issues. Hope you'll join us. I'm Mike Adams. Thanks for being with us. Have a great day, everyone.